oXygen is a powerful XML authoring tool, and we wanted to make XML authoring available not only across platforms, but also across devices. And as we stand, oXygen was already a cross-platform product, being Java-based, one on most important operating systems. And by using the Java applet support, we are also on the browser. In case you knew that already, for example, this is the author component that runs in the browser, and basically you have the same functionality as you do in the desktop version of oXygen. So we were in the browser. But what we wanted was a more lightweight solution, one that would not only work across platforms, but only across devices. And on the other hand, oXygen is a mature product with a lot of features and functionality, and we thought it would be a great idea if we could reuse all that support and just let the author use a familiar browser for its editing sessions. So what we did, we took the core of the authoring support and we prepared it for the cloud, and it runs in a Java web application server, and on the front end it's just an HTML5 and JavaScript interface. It looks something like this. So somewhere there's a Java web application server which runs our oXygen web app application, and the users can connect with any device. It may be a laptop or a desktop, or it may be a mobile device with a browser that we support. We support all the major browsers, so that shouldn't be a problem. And the files that these authors will edit can come from a repository, like a versioning system repository or a CMS. And since we're talking about where these files can come from, we have sample integrations with Dropbox. So you can edit your files from Dropbox. With Google Drive, we recently added another one for WebDAV, so you can put your files on HTTP with WebDAV and edit them from there. And we're currently working with all major XML CMSs, so they integrate the web app into their solutions.
Can you list them?
George, am I allowed to?
Well, one of them presented already at the DITA North America conference, Astoria software. They presented their integration with the oXygen there. Basically, all the CMSs that integrate oXygen are interested to have also this web part, because everything works the same. Or any customization that you make to the desktop version of oXygen, almost all customizations work also here. So if you change the CSS for desktop, it's the same used for the web app. Or also there are existing connectors that are built for the desktop version can be reused in the context of the web app, plus some additional part that is web specific for authentication, for authenticating users. But the actual connection connector will work also with the web app on the server side, placed as a plugin on the server side. So it's not a huge investment to have this ready.
Right, so in my presentation I will use some samples from my Dropbox account. So as far as the demo goes, the presentation will be structured around two major use cases. For once, there's the reviewer and the author who's using the web app, but we could refine these situations even further. We can imagine a casual contributor who needs to give us some content, and we can send him a link in an email, and he can automatically give us the content. There's also a subject matter expert that might want to review some of our topics. Again, just an email, and he can get right to work. There's also critical fixes, situation in which you are stranded somewhere with just your mobile devices, and you realize that you've broken your publishing pipeline, and you just need to change something in your data map to unlock the situation. And during this presentation, I will also emphasize on the new additions, on the things that are new to the web app. Oh, and by the way, talking about the integration, someone asked me during lunch about the Git integration, and I remember that I previously heard George talking about such an integration, so that we might add it in the future.
Yeah, because one idea would be, that you provide the web app with the Git repository, and then when each user connects, we have a clone, a branch for that user in that repository, so he will make changes on that branch. So instead of locking files, so the user will never get this file is locked, you will get a branch created for each user, right? And then someone will, so I have my remote from GitHub or from wherever, I add another remote with the web app repository, and I can merge the changes made by these contributors in my branch. So that's an idea. But we also implemented automatic locking in oXygen 17 for the desktop version, and that's another idea for the web app. So to have automatic locking if the web app knows who accesses which files, right? So if we identify that some user tries to access a file which is locked by another one, we give that read-only to that user. And when the file is not accessed in write mode by that user, another user will get the right access. So these are useful, let's say, for the collaboration part. But the Git part, it's interesting also for our user guide. I mean, when we publish, we can have, like make changes, and they basically, a user that will press that button will make a branch on our user guide, and he will commit a new version of that topic on that branch. And next time that user will see exactly that branch that he made changes to, right? Because we can set a cookie and identify the user. So next time we don't need to make a new branch. We will put him on that branch that he made changes to. So just some ideas.
Looks like we have things figured out. So in the near future. Right. So for the demo part, as you may know, we've uploaded the web app, so you can try it yourself at any time. The address is oxygenxml.com/webapp, and there's a button here that says try it online. And if you're just curious about how it looks, then you can try a couple of XML vocabulary like data or docbook that we've uploaded here for you. Or if you have some XML samples in your Dropbox or Google Drive account, then you can just connect to your account. Select a topic. And open it. So, like I said, there are a number of use cases. One of them is the reviewer. So we have full support for reviewing in the web app, just like you have in oXygen desktop version. So what would a reviewer do? Well, on the side there's a review panel in which you see comments and changes made by other reviewers. On the toolbar here you have an action that will enable change tracking for this document, so all changes made to this document will be recorded in the document itself. So for example, if I say web here, so it's something that was inserted and is, because of that it's underlined. If I delete something, it also it remembers and is marked as being deleted, and I can make a selection, and again from the toolbar I can add some comments. And my comment is presented on the right, together with all other changes. If I can save the document like this, and it's going to be updated in the Dropbox account. And what I did is I created so with Dropbox you can create a hot folder on your file system, and it automatically updates. It keeps the file synchronized with your account. So that's what I did with my Dropbox account. And now if I can open the same file that I've edited online, and it has all the changes that I've done in the web. And I can continue reviewing. Maybe I can, like I said, in oXygen you have the same support. There's the reviewer panel here, not much space on this projector, right? And I can accept some changes, maybe reject some of them. With a comment you generally do what it suggests, and after that you can just remove them. And at the end I save the file. Dropbox will synchronize synchronize it automatically with the cloud. And if we return to the web app and we refresh it, we're going to see the final version. So it's kind of a sample of some collaborative reviewing using the Dropbox account. So when we first, like George said, when we first introduced this new web app, we were really excited about the fact that it could run on mobile devices. So we kind of focused on the mobile devices, and we had a mobile-oriented interface. We were really excited about the fact that we ran on the mobile. But like I said, there is another use case that often XML author who wants to do more, to use the web to do the editing just like it would in the desktop version of oXygen. So the question is, can an author be just as productive with the web app as it is right now with the desktop version of oXygen? And we think that it can, or it's almost there. So let's see what new things we've added to help this use case. So for once on a desktop you have all this space. So an author will normally want some side views, some actions. So like you've seen, there's a review panel which now is empty because I've accepted everything. There's also a panel that presents the attributes. If no attribute is being set, like this is my case, but you can request to see all the available attributes. There's a find and replace panel in which you can search for stuff. and maybe replace it something else. I have change tracking, so both the deleted word and the inserted was recorded. On the toolbar you have an icon, and it presents the validation results from the document. So it's the automatic validation that will inform you after each change if something went wrong.
So this being done on the server side, we have also schematron, relax-ng, so all that validation that we have in the desktop version of oXygen is available also here. We don't have quick